welcome to Kelly Loves K-Pop. I'm Kelly, tarot reader and K-Pop fan of 15 years. Today we're going to do a personality reading on Jail from BTS. I've been working through all the BTS members' personality readings. I'm kind of doing career and ideal readings too, intermittently, seeing what I have done already, what I haven't done already. There's a playlist that'll be at the end of this video. Maybe I can also put it in the card right now too, if you want to look through for your favorite member, see if I've already done them or not. If I haven't, don't worry, they're on the way. So, I also take donations for choosing like what my next video is. So if you head to the Ko-fi page, you can request a reading that way. I try to keep the donation level pretty cheap, pretty affordable for everybody. So it's just choosing the topic of the next video. And we're gonna go ahead and do the Kim Krantz unknown, is it unknown archetype or wild archetype? I'm so bad at remembering this deck. But anyway, Kim Krantz's archetype deck. We're gonna go ahead and pick 6 cards, and we'll do a personality reading based on the current energies. As always, tarot readings are for entertainment purposes only. Please take them with a grain of salt. Everything is alleged. I'm not affiliated with any idols or their companies. In fact, this reading is not a paid reading at all. So with that said, I'll go ahead and get the cards. This one jumped out. Okay. Okay, well, this one jumped out. That's too many, I only need one more. Okay, I'll just take the top one. Awesome. Okay, hopefully that's well where you guys can see them. So we have the Pilgrim. This is someone who is well traveled. I don't know if maybe growing up he kind of moved around a lot. If he didn't get to stay in one place as much as he would like, but it just means he's very adaptable. He really likes touring, seeing different countries, trying different foods from different cultures, learning different languages, that kind of thing. He's very at home in that atmosphere. So he's very kind of generally open-minded. You know, I think we can all tell kind of like a fun-loving, you know, adaptable person. Then we have Apocalypsis in the, well, this is still in the light aspect. So this is kind of like a person that you can trust to be honest with you. This is a person that well, is just kind of pretty dependable in general, very consistent with the people he's around. He's good at being kind of a natural center, an anchor for those he's around. I think a lot of people do count on him. You know, he's kind of a born leader in a lot of ways. Trendsetter. He's not afraid to express himself, and it's very like attractive to other people. It's very charming, charismatic, that kind of thing. I forgot, what is his astrology? I forgot my astrology cards today. Oh, he's an Aquarius sun with a Taurus moon. Okay. I have my notes with my scribble. So yeah, Aquarians tend to kind of be unique thinkers. They're kind of revolutionary in a lot of ways. So being a natural leader, usually it's interesting because they kind of maybe are chosen as a leader. They wouldn't volunteer, because Aquarians tend to traditionally, or I should say stereotypically, like to kind of be off on their own a lot, but it seems like a lot of people are kind of tugging at him to be like, again, I think that Taurus moon makes him very like emotionally, what's the word? Just like other people find him grounding. Does that make sense? I don't know if there's a specific word for that, but like, yeah, other people find his nature grounding for them. I don't know if he finds it that way himself necessarily. I think he's kind of catering to people. I don't think he likes it as much as other people like him being that for them, but he's like almost too nice to say something, you know, to not do it. He's just like, okay. He's like, this is just part of my relationship with these people. So then we have Agape in kind of a neutral position. And yeah, again, this kind of plays out being kind of emotionally neutral. While I think a lot of people gravitate naturally to him, I don't think he naturally gravitates to people. His standard for people may be very high, may be very hard to impress him to be his friend. Like again, he probably has a ton of acquaintances, but not a lot of like true lifelong friends. I think he tends to grow out of his friends a lot because he is always kind of taking in new experiences and like growing as a person. I think he changes as a person a lot. I don't think that's a bad thing to him. Some people don't like that, and I think it can turn other people off, but I think he enjoys learning and growing and becoming kind of more himself, right? He's always wanting to evolve. Then we have the Eternal Child. So this is definitely saying, you know, his joyful, playful side. I don't think he's just naturally 100% playful, joyful all the time. I mean, I think no one is, but I think it's a 50-50 with him. Like he has his moods where he is like the life of the party and it's hard to keep up with him because he's just so active. And then I think he has another side where he, you know, almost like an introvert that needs to recharge and kind of get away from everyone. I see a lot of that. But when he is in, like when his battery is fully charged, he is like just nothing but energy and spreading kind of like joyful energy to people around him. Again, I think if anyone is his fan, you're not surprised to see that. And then we have the Seed, and it more in the light attribute again. So this is creative, self-motivated, again, always wanting to learn, always wanting to expand his skills. I think he's constantly learning stuff we don't even hear about. I don't think it's just musically. I don't think it's just in the entertainment field. I feel like he's off studying. I think he's the type that might spend longer in like college or higher education than spending more time there than others. I think he just genuinely likes academics. I think he excels in that. I think when he decides he's going to do something, he really does it. I think that Taurus moon is a consistency and a self-motivation with him. He's really good at that kind of stuff. So yeah, he likes to be out there learning, traveling, getting new experiences, and just kind of always expanding his point of reference, always expanding his view of life, his point of view. I think he can get bored very easily on the negative. He's hard to keep up with because if you're not doing all the same things he's doing, you can kind of get left behind. So yeah, I think it can make him a little lonely sometimes, but I do think, yeah, he's just got this voracious appetite for knowledge and learning and traveling and seeing the world, you know. And then we have the Orphan, but it's in the light attribute, which again, this is very much self-acceptance. You know, he may not have like a big group of friends, but it's because he's pretty good content with who he is. Like if he understands that he is hard to keep up with, and that's okay with him. Like I think he does pretty okay on his own. For the most part, like I said, he's always kind of filling his time with things that keep him busy. So he can get kind of lonely, but I think he's good at managing that. Hopefully he reaches out when he needs it. I don't think he has a shortage of people wanting to be available to him. I think it's more just him being selective on who he trusts. So that's what I have for his personality reading. I'm going to go ahead and do the ideal partner reading. And if you haven't seen my other ones, basically it's another archetype deck that I use by Carolyn Mist. And then I will layer another oracle deck on top. I brought a new one called The Magic of You because I was using my spellcasting oracle, and I just want to kind of mix it up a little bit. And we're gonna use the oracle deck as a clarifier on the traits to know why they may be attractive to J-Hope, or you know, just if they're something that would be good for him, right? Because I don't really do love readings. I don't do future partner readings, so I won't be digging into who they are or when they meet or anything like that. It's just more of like basic traits that would be good for J-Hope, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these cards. Oops. Shuffle them up. I'm gonna put in some reversals because I always do. Oops. And again, this will be a 12 card reading because we'll do 6 cards of each deck and read them together. Do that again, and then I'll go ahead and start picking some cards. Ooh. Okay. I wanted to make sure I was recording. I got scared for a second. I didn't see the dot. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Hopefully we can see all these. All right. So again, these are going to be layered with my Magic of You Oracle, which is new to my collection. So I haven't put it up on the copy page, where I list all my decks. So if you do request a reading there, you can also request what deck you want the reading to be done with. Obviously for personality readings, I'm limited. I only have a couple decks that are really good for that, but I can do them with tarot decks. Fairly easy. Oracle, like I said, it's a little more specific, but for tarot decks, if you want to see a personality reading with a tarot deck, I can do that, not a problem. All right, so here we go. Okay, so we have Liberator in the Light. Let's see if I skip back a little bit. Liberator in the Light, which is freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs, releasing negative thought patterns. And Livaria, which is the phrase is to let love grow. So, I mean, I think it's definitely having a conversation there where it's like, I think J-Hope can cut himself off a lot from other people. You know, I think that's been a protection and coping mechanism for him. Again, when you travel, if you travel a lot or you're changing places a lot, it's hard to like get attached to people. You know, not only because it's hard to leave, but also just it's hard to keep up with them after. So I do think in a partner, he would do well to have someone that encourages him to plant some more roots. Not necessarily stay stable, but like work harder on keeping people in your life that are good for you. Reaching out to people and not just letting them go because it's easy. Sometimes you got to put in, you know, the work to keep people that are worth keeping. So just some encouragement there, and maybe someone else who naturally does that and maybe shows him a better way to do it. And then we have Don Juan in the Light, which is spotlights your positive seductive qualities, and Mosaic, which is let chance play its creative role in your life. I don't know, the first thing I thought when I saw this was that I think whenever he does get in a relationship, when it's serious, he will make it public. I do think he wants that in a partner. He wants someone that is okay with having that public spotlight on them. So I feel like more likely than not, he may be interested more in a celebrity. I'm not saying he will end up with one, but I'm saying he probably has an interest in dating someone else who is like him in the public, so he doesn't have to worry about like that balance. I feel like he's a little, even though he seems like a pretty private person, ironically enough, I feel like he just doesn't want to have to worry about it, about hiding it. I don't think he would enjoy having to hide it, so he may be interested in someone else who has a very public persona, right? Then we have Rebel in the Light, which is challenges authority to affect social change, reject spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs, and Epoch, which is pause in your journey. I do think this is looking for someone who encourages him to, again, do other things maybe that aren't part of his musical career. I think especially things that are more involved in volunteer work or social justice, or you know, again, they do work with UNICEF and things like that, and he may be encouraged to do even more of that ambassador work. I think he has the right kind of bright personality for it, so I think his partner would probably also want him to pursue things that are more, you know, to use his platform more, right? He has one of the biggest platforms in the world, so he can affect a lot of change if he wants, and hopefully, you know, that's something he looks into. So then we have Slave in the Light attribute, which is surrendering your power of choice to the divine with surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. And then we have Oblivion, which is open your arms. Again, Oblivion kind of also has this more spiritual connotation. I don't know how religious he is or spiritual he is, but I do think in a partner, he probably would like someone that is into that, someone that is very connected to the divine, to spirit, and helps him along his spiritual path, or is maybe his spiritual center and anchor that brings that into his life regularly. So it's kind of someone who comfortable kind of in the not knowing, like is putting that trust into spirit, is giving it to God, is taking that weight off of their own shoulders spiritually, you know what I mean? And I think maybe he needs some of that too. So then we have Storyteller in the Light, which is ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. And then Orenda, which is honor your mystical creative force. Again, it seems like he's really attracted to someone who, not specifically, but like the idea of someone who is probably a celebrity like him, also in a creative field that has a story to tell, right? Is more on the creative side, songwriting side, music writing side, could be even acting, just, you know, writing a screenplay, things like something like that. Someone who is like him, that has something to say. You know, a lot of this is also has just a strong viewpoint of the world that they want to get across, both directly and creatively, right? So I think he would feel very comfortable with someone like that just kind of pushes his motivation also to the next level. Like we saw in the personality reading, he is self-motivated. He is, you know, he goes out there and does his thing, does his solo work, does his BTS work, you know, but I think someone who pushes him to really understand, like, now you have this giant stage, you have this giant platform, what do you have to say, right? Someone who kind of cuts to that chase for him. And then the last set we have is Monk or Nun in the Shadow, which is negative judgment of the physical world, excess piety, and then solitude, alone but not lonely. Okay, so we talked about him kind of liking to be, as much as he likes to experience the world, he also needs just as much time away to like regroup and calibrate his thoughts and his feelings. You know, so again, in a partner, that's probably also something he needs, is someone who either backs away from the spotlight for a while with him, or is okay with him having to take his breaks and go off and kind of regroup and come back when he's ready. That's patient like that, because I do think just the negative judgment of the physical world is speaking to being overwhelmed by the world and people's expectations of you and the things you have to do for others, because that just comes with the territory, and that's just very draining, especially I think for someone like J-Hope, on the level he's at, and being an Aquarius who definitely has their own way of thinking and, you know, wanting the world. Again, they tend to be like a revolutionary kind of person. They're going to go against the grain a little bit, and to have to not express that most of the time due to it will affect other people's livelihoods quite a bit, you know, I think can be draining. So he needs time away to process. So like I said, someone who either gives him that time away or retreats with him, you know. So that is what I have. I hope you guys like the new deck. I really love this kind of artwork, kind of dark, mysterious, but hopefully not too off-putting. I just wanted to mix it up. You know, I'll probably bring out the spellcasting oracle again at some point, but we're gonna give it a break for now. And I don't know. I can't think of anything else. If you have more J-Hope readings you can think of, you know, leave them in the comments. I'll do everything but like love and future soulmate, whatever, that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. As always, please take care of each other and be good for yourselves, and I'll see you again